What is up, everyone? Welcome to round 3 of the Portland Monthly Premodern Paper Magic Afternoons October 2024 tournament. We got a couple of new decks to show, so without further ado, let's see what they're playing. First up is Alec with the exact same 75 that he brought to the finals of last month's Premodern, and unfortunately didn't quite get there, but he's looking to rectify that this time around. This is green-white Terra Oath. Now, it's not quite Terrageddon, because you'll notice there are no Terrageddons in the list. However, there is plenty of land destruction and for Wintergrass, for thermal karsts, and even has for sphere resistance to make that land destruction hurt even more. Anyways, this is a pretty standard tier 1 deck list, so let's see who he's playing against. Well, it's a tale as old as time, tier 1 deck versus Brew, because TK is playing an Aluren build, which is pretty spicy. TK is pretty new to the pre-modern scene and has tons of ideas, including this very cool combo build, which involves Aluren, which is an enchantment for 4, and any player may cast creature spells with mana value 3 or less without paying their mana cost, so they add flash, and uses that for several win cons, including not only just gaining infinite life through Soul Warden, but also Brain Freeze mill wins. Now, how is this done, you may ask? Well, Raven Familiar and Cavern Harpy are probably two of the best ways to get through your deck to find these win cons. Wirewood Savage, which lets you draw your entire deck every time you play a beast, which I believe Cavern Harpy is technically one, but also Man of War helps a little bit. Having other cards like Living Wish to go find other win cons in a Cavern Harpy, but also Rashad and Cut Purse, which lets you just kill all your opponent's creatures. And yeah, just a really cool set of cards that I honestly haven't seen before. I know this Aluren lists have been around for a while, but we've never actually seen one on camera, so this is a very cool thing to catch, and hopefully we can see the combo go off. So without further ado, let's get into the games. Okay, Alec is on the left, TK is on the right. Now, this is early enough in the tournament that pretty sure Alec has no idea what TK is playing, which will give him the advantage in game 1 for sure. Also, just playing a pretty unique combo deck, I think, can be very beneficial. I will do my best to catch these new cards. You'll notice that TK has a mix of proxies, new borders, and the like. He actually does prefer the new art. Which is fine. We don't really judge around here too much. It looks like Alec's gonna be on the play. We are playing out a Brushland, a Mox, pitching a Wasteland, a Mox, pitching a Wasteland, and a turn 1 Terravore. There's a 2/2. Say go. That's very aggressive for a game 1 start. All right, we have a City of Brass coming down for TK. And Birds of Paradise. Taking a point to play that out. Say go. Both players ramping, one a little more successfully so. Yeah, that is quite the turn 1 from Alec. Double Mox start into a Terravore. Are we going to see a second Terravore? No, we're going to see a Thermal Karst hitting that City of Brass. And swing in for 3 now. Say go. Alright, I think TK just drawing a Man of War here. Does have more land drops to make. Looks like he might even have a Wall of Roots, which is a good way to keep the ramp up. He does need to get to 4 mana for Aluren. And with Alec's very quick start, he won't be able to take advantage of the Aluren as well. Obviously, the deck with Aluren is going to do better. With those starts. Ooh, that is a Swords. Alright, we're going to Swords the wall. Trample damage will go through. Still take 3. Dropping down to 12. And the City Brass actually getting ported here in TK's upkeep. This is a very rough start for the deck, and Alex showing exactly why his deck is very much tier 1. Alright, just an island coming down, and I believe that's a Living Wish. Yes. Okay, we're gonna dig through the sideboard. What are we grabbing? At this point, you might just want to grab a land if you have one in the sideboard, but I don't think he does because of all the attack on the mana base. Oh, maybe he does have one. Is that a city brass? Are we trying to go for the combo potentially? All right, there's a cavern harpy. So maybe going for the combo here actually. For those of you not familiar with cavern harpy, which why would you? It is a black and a blue for a flying 2/1 beast. When it comes into play, return a blue or black creature to your hand. Pay 1 life, return it to your hand. But with Aluren, being able to do that as long as you have a way to draw cards, say that card that cares about beasts entering, it's a very easy way to just draw your entire deck and then brain freeze. Alright, so we have 3 mana online. The City Brass getting ported here. That is a great win con for Alec if things do get stalled out. TK is already at 7. Alright, there's a Mana War. That is going to come down. Getting a little bit of relief to bounce the Terravore. Say go. And we know TK has an Aluren in hand, so he could potentially combo out at any minute. Alright, Terravore coming down. And are we getting a land ported here, or are we going to try and get in a bit more damage? The Terravore is only at 3. TK is tapped out. Alright, we are porting the City Brass. Take 1. Down to 6. Alright, there's a Gemstone Mine. We have Aluren mana up, finally. Tapping 3 and the birds. Aluren. Everyone can play 3 drops. Alec is all tapped out. There is the Beast Finder, and there is the Cavern Harpy. So the way this works, the Cavern Harpy can just bounce itself as many times as he wants to draw basically his whole deck. So TK is going to draw most of the deck and see what he has. This eventually will end up back in his hand. Now, how does he pay for Brain Freeze? Exactly. There is probably a way. Aluren, I don't believe, gives haste to anything. Oh, that's how. Okay. Yeah, you play the fairy to untap your lands, you brain freeze, you've cast so many spells, and that is going to be game number 1. Okay, here we are in game number 2. TK is on a mulligan here to 6. And that fairy card I mentioned in round 1, that's Cloud of Fairies. Just so everyone knows, that's how he's able to untap the lands to pay for the brain freeze. Very cool. We got to see him do the thing, and I think not a turn too late. Alec was maybe just a turn away from actually winning there. Okay, looks like we got a keepable 6 here. Alec will be leading things off. Does still have the Mox start. Not sure what he was playing around there. There's no Force Will in the format. No days, but I guess it is proper to play out your land first and then your box, no matter what format you're playing. But yeah, a Sylvan Library start for Alec is very strong. TK just having the City of Brass, no Mana Dork this time around. Looks like Alex looking at a wasteland, a factory, and I believe a Terravore. And is actually going to draw 2 here. Yes, okay, he did find a Terravore. Wasteland, hit the city brass, say go. Now he could have powered out the Terravore, but I think recognizing that keeping TK off of mana here is very strong, especially with no turn 1 mana dork. Just gonna be taking 1 here. Brushland into a Winter's Grasp to hit the next city. Say go. And TK hitting a basic here. Say go. That one will not be able to be wastelanded, but there is plenty more land destruction in Alex's deck. Say another Winter's Grasp. Alright, pass to you. And at this point, I think TK is out of lands. He does have a Elvish Spirit Guide, so he can make a green mana, but that is not going to be good enough right now. Passing to Alec. Alec just taking a card off the top, and we are going to see the Terravore finally. It is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 5/5, I believe. Look at the dice here to represent how big it is exactly. But I believe 5. Yes, okay. 4 turn clock. And TK needs to find lands to get the combo going. And unfortunately, it's just moving to discard. Say go. Ooh, that's a wasteland. Okay, Alec opting for the factory. He's going to animate his treetop village, and the Terravore swinging for 8. Play out the factory. And this is looking very bad for TK, not hitting another land. Turns out when you get your first 3 land drops pulverized, you don't get to do much. Okay, looks like Alec picking up the wasteland is gonna play it for turn. Probably. No, okay. Animate the treetop, animate the factory. Swing in for 10, down to 2. Play a wasteland just to say, oh, Rashad important, sorry. Okay, TK hitting a land, but that's not gonna be good enough. We're gonna go to game number 3. Well, that was a very quick game number 2, but when you don't get to play lands, it makes sense that you're not gonna get to do much, especially against a, I guess that was a turn 3 Terravore? Still, very rough. Now, TK is back on the play. Does he have a turn 1 mana dork? I think that is his best chance against Alec in this format, but it looks like just the City Brass and pass. He does have at least 1 other land. Okay, brush land coming down for Alec, looks like, and go. This is the most fair Magic start we've seen from Alec. No Mox Diamonds. And yes, there is a Wall of Roots. We got the Mana Dork coming down. And that will get Swords to Plowshares. That's another altar, or proxy, I should say. Alec does run 4 in the deck. And dealing with a Mandork makes a lot of sense here. He is going to port the City Brass, take a point. Again, that is a win con potentially in itself. There's a Gemstone Mine. Hopefully we get some dice on that. Say go. Oh, there we go. We got some poker chips. I like it. A little tougher to tell, but it works. All right, Windswept Heath coming down. I do really like the retro border fetch lands that Modern Horizons did for everything except Bloodstained Mire. I don't know what it is. I just don't really care for the Bloodstained Mire fetch. Alright, there's a Winter Grasp coming down and hitting the Gemstone. Interesting. What happened there? Alright, I know one of his lands got Winter's Grasp, but what did he play after that? Either way, we got a Living Wish coming down while I try and find TK's deck list. It almost looks like it was a Cloud of Fairies, but that doesn't make sense because Cloud of Fairies doesn't have flash, right? Yeah, very strange there. Maybe one of them can weigh in onto what exactly happened there, but we are getting a Living Wish here, and what are we grabbing? There is a few combo pieces you can do.
It kind of does. It's got that kind of art.
Surprising there's no... Well, I guess you can grab it anyways. I was say there's no intuition on the sideboard, but Living Wish only grabs creatures and lands. And there is no lands in TK's deck. Alright, we are grabbing... Or, sorry, in his deck, in his sideboard. We're grabbing a Tabi Orangutan here to deal with an artifact that doesn't exist. Alright, there's another Rashad port. Say go. And we are gonna port down 2 lands here. Taking a point off the City of Brass. Leaving with just a Gemstone Mine. Say go. So, Alex slowing things down here for sure. Is that another Rashad port? Okay, Treetop Village coming down. Same thing as before. Take a point. This is a win con. And TK not having much going on. He's not drawing any more land drops here. To be fair, I just am looking at his deck list right now. I believe he only runs 17 lands, which seems very light. Right, 4 City of Brass, 4 Gemstone Mines, 4 Coasts. Sorry, no, he runs more than that. I can't do math. 8, 12, 17, 21. He has 21 lands. Okay, so we're not in the full why are you running so little lands grip here. He's just not drawing them, unfortunately. Both of which are getting ported here. A Wasteland on the Avamaya coast in Alex last turn. He did draw another City of Brass, but with 2 Rashadan ports, that is functionally 2 damage a turn. And that is dangerous. He did play it out. He has an Elf Spirit Guide, so he does have 2 mana open to him. Can he cast anything with that? No, we are passing the turn. And that is another Rashadan port, so Alec can tap down all of TK's lands. Yep, there we go. 3 ports, tap down everything. Take 2, down to 12. Notably, Alec has not played a single creature this game. And TK is already at almost half his life total. There is an Aluren in his hand. And no, we're just moving to discard. Alec having no problem making land drops, and we're going to do the same thing as before. Take 2, down to 10. TK needing to see lands. That is not a land. That is a Bird of Paradise. He can exile the... Yes, okay, we are going to exile a Spirit Guide to play out of birds. Hitting mana one way or another. It didn't immediately get swords, so that is promising. Oh, but there's a Wasteland. Do you wasteland the mine and just keep hitting 2 a turn
My goal is to not have to play any.
and have mana up to start swinging in? Alec arranging his lands. Looks like that might be the plan. You already have such a death grip on the mana, you might as well potentially swing in with the treetop village.
I'm gonna play Wasteland and
Yes, okay, we are wastelanding the gemstone mine. Now he can, yeah, animate the treetop village. No, okay, what are we doing? We're tapping to for an Oath of Druids. Oh no. All right, well, TK did play out a creature. We are against an Oath deck here. Tap down both your city brasses, take 2. Can you get rid of that Oath or your own birds before it is Alec's turn? Because this is not looking good. Still no land for TK. He's just gonna have to pass. And we get an Oath trigger here, folks, which Alec forgot. Or chose to ignore.
it's fine. No, that's fine. I read your work.
Looks like he forgot it. Alright, well,
I wasn't trying to. Yeah.
what are we doing here?
Still thinking about boards. Swords the bird.
Swordsing the birds. I don't necessarily agree with
Exile, Elvish Fair Guide.
the Oath trigger. Alright, what is this flash
Gain 0.
fairies? Does Cloud of Fairies have flash? Am I just really that far behind? I'm not. I'm very confused. Because it dies anyways, right? It's cycling. That's what it is. He's cycling Cloud of Fairies. I always forget Cloud of Fairies has cycling. TK needed a miracle here, though. I'm not sure if he can top deck anything to get out of this City of Brass lock. All right, well, that is actually just going to be game, and Alec takes it down. That was a crazy couple of games. I'm glad we got to see Aluren do its thing. I love to see more iterations, more explorations in the Aluren deck. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. It does really help the channel. If you're already subscribed to the channel, commenting below does a lot to help this specific video. So does watching another video, actually. If you want to help the channel even more, there is a Patreon link in the video description. That money goes towards gear upgrades, travel expenses, and just making more Premodern videos. All right, thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.